Yo, what's good everybody? I hope you're all doing well. So, Season 2's here, which means it's time for an updated guide. Obviously, the last time I did a guide was right at the beginning of Season 1. A lot has changed since then. In my opinion, I think Claudio's quite a bit of a different character, played differently now. But yeah, as for the first guide though, I did appreciate all the support on it, and I'm glad that it helped out a lot of people learn the character and develop even further with the character. So I'm really happy that it worked out like that for everybody. With this one, we're going to split it up into different phases again. So first we're going to talk about his punishment, go through all the punishment that he has that you're going to be needing when using the character. We will then go on to combos, and I'll show you loads and loads of different combos from each individual launcher he has, including mini combos when you get like small count hits and stuff like that. Then we'll talk about his top 5 best and his top 5 worst moves that you definitely have to be using while playing the character, and moves that you not really shouldn't use, but you should use a lot less than what you use any of the other moves. We'll then talk about how the character is best played, so what you're meant to do with the character, how you're meant to play him to be able to make winning a lot easier. And then I'll give my overall view on what I think of Claudio this season, whether I think he's really good or not very good. And yeah, that'll be it. So let's get into it. So guys, let's look at the Season 1 to Season 2 changes for Claudio. I've got the patch notes right next to me here. So I'll read off them, showcase the changes, and I'll even add a bit on how to use some of the new changes as well. The first change we're going to look at is Claudio has a new move, which is forward 3-2. This move is very unique. As you can see there, when you just do forward 3-2, it is minus 13. You can do a slight delay, it's still minus 13, but you know you can delay it a bit to catch people pressing into it. And then when you fully charge it, it's 0 and you gain Starburst on block. So this is it without Starburst, by the way. In Starburst, a little bit different. When you just do it, +1 in Starburst. Let me just keep Starburst on. And obviously when you hold it a bit, still +1. And then when you fully hold it, it becomes a guard break and gives you a guaranteed 14 frames or faster move. So a big difference with and without Starburst. Yeah, new, of course, unique. So let me tell you how to use this move, because obviously I've been messing around with it a bit. So, without Starburst, how do you use this move? You don't. Without Starburst, don't use this move. Honestly, not worth it. On hit, this is what it does. It does 25 damage for the sake of minus 13, and then at the wall. It doesn't even give you a proper wall spot. So without Starburst, don't use this move. It is just not worth it. There's definitely better moves to use. To put yourself minus 13, obviously even if you charge it, you get Starburst, but there's just other ways you can get Starburst, just by popping heat or using any of the Punishers or while running to whatever, anything like any of the heat engages. I just don't think it's good outside of Starburst. And the thing is, that it looks a lot like down forward 3-2. So the guard break at first, while people are getting used to this move, won't hit as often because people are just going to think it's this, just because of the way it looks. So people are going to press a little bit. Now with Starburst, totally different. If I put Starburst on, I don't think you should be using this move in the open, just because if they block it, look at the pushback. I know you're +1, but look at the pushback. It's just pointless. You get knocked for it, and if it hits, you get 32 damage, but look at the distance between you. Pointless. Don't think it should be used in the open at all. At the wall, however, this is how you should be using this move. So you should be using it always with a slight delay, like that. Always, especially at first, unless you see the first hit, because you can actually see as long as the kick hits and you press the 2, you just let go of it straight away, because at the wall when you hit it, so if I was thinking, oh, I'm going to charge it a little bit, but see this bit hit, I just let it go and you get the wall splat from it. So that's definitely you know, you just let it go straight away and you do whatever wall combo you want to do. Good chunk of damage there. Of course, if they block it, it leaves you +1 at the wall close, so you can apply pressure. So very, very good in that situation. And of course, you can guard break, and then you will get the wall splat with the heat engager. This is, I would say, always slightly delay it at first. Always slightly delay it, because if I put punish. Jabs, for instance. This is what will happen if you just go for the guard break against most of your opponents straight away. They're just going to interrupt it because they don't know about it. If you just let it rip like this, the jabs don't come out because it jails. But if you hold it a little bit, they can't interrupt it. They can't interrupt it. Well, they can actually. I think they can power crush. Let me just check. I think they can power crush. I'll just double check that. But if they try press like buttons, they're just going to get wall splat. So you should always slightly delay it. Unless you see the first hit, then just let it rip because it's going to wall splat. If not, always slightly delay it. Because this is what you're going to get. No, they can't even do that. And if you go for the... I'll show you this in the open, actually. If they do try power crush in between it, this is what happens. It actually becomes a launcher. And you can do a wall combo, whatever. It actually becomes a launcher. So at the wall, if you do it, you're not really going to get much, but it's just a good damage. But yeah, always slightly delay just a bit, because if you just let it go, nothing comes out. And if you slightly delay it, oh, that's where, if you delay it too long, the power crush. I knew there was a way the power crush actually won. I don't know why my game's lagging. I'm dropping frames. But yeah, this is how you need to use this move. Is always with the back to the wall, with Starburst. Never ever without Starburst. Sorry about that. I had a little bit of a game issue. But yeah, as I was saying, without Starburst, don't use this move at all. Pointless. With Starburst, don't use it in the open. Only use it at the wall. In my opinion, it's just a better version of this. Of down 1-2. Because down 1-2 has a lot of counterplay. This doesn't. I know down 1-2 is +6, but there's just... People are going to hopefully not. Eventually learn you can step down 1-2, you can power crush through it, you can rage out through it, you can parry it. You know, there's just a lot of options for it. And with this, there is that mix-up of the guard break and stuff, if people hesitate. But always delaying it a little bit will make people hesitate for the guard break, and you will get the wall splat. And if you don't, you +1, do something after it. It's great. That's how you should use it. Next we have up forward 3+4-2. This is a new move for Claudio. Up forward 3+4-2 is -12 on block, and on hit it knocks down. And let me just get out of Starburst just to prove it. It grants Starburst. Now at the start of the game, well, at the start of Season 2, sorry, this is going to knowledge check a lot of people, as they know this is punishable. It always has been punishable, so they will expect to punish this. And this will hit them. So, obviously, knowledge check at the wall. It does wall splat. So, if they are standing block, I don't know if this will work. I might have to actually get him to press. Yeah, I'm going to have to get him to press. I don't know. I actually need to figure out the best wall combo for this. So yeah, obviously if they do this, it is punishable at -11, so they can do that, and then that's when this becomes, you know, this probably there might be a way to re-wall splat. I actually do need to look into that. But for now, you just do a standard wall combo. But it is a knowledge check of people. Obviously, you can choose to finish it or not finish it, so you can use it in that way. It's also... It can be used in some combos for a little bit of wall carry. Wouldn't recommend it. It's a bit iffy. The second it doesn't have that much range. The best way I've found to use this is as his wall combo. So obviously the previous wall combo that people did was down forward 3-2 shoulder, which in this situation 68, and then if you do it here, If you do up forward 3 plus 4, 2. Sometimes if you get the bottom hit, there 69 damage, and you get Starburst from it when the last hit hits at a low wall slump. So I think it's best to use as a wall combo. This is definitely how you should be using this move, as a wall combo, or for now as a knowledge check, because people will try to punish the first hit. So if you've got their backs to the wall and you kind of gather they're going to try to punish it, just throw the string out, and if it hits, great, you get a wall spot and a wall combo. If it doesn't, you're only minus 12. It's not that bad. But yeah, this is a new move for Season 2. Right, up forward 2. This move has changed a lot. So, inputting up forward 2 and down now transitions into crouch state. The recovery time has been reduced by 4 frames. Adjusted the opponent's behaviour on block, changing the frame advantage on block from -8 to +4. It now deals chip damage on block, and it's fixed an issue where delaying the input of the 2 caused the attack to occur faster than intended. Didn't know that. But yeah, this used to be -8, now +4, and does chip damage. So what a great change. Happy with that. I think this move is going to be one of his key moves, to be honest now, for pressure. Good thing, it's still a heat engager, you know, so great on hit as well. And on block, you can hold down and go into crouch, and obviously because you're +4, you can use like any of the while standing ones, and it would be a frame trap. And if you stay standing, you know, you've got down forward 3 at 14, back 3 at 13, forward 2 or 2-1 12s, you know, your jabs. You can even do you can even do a low, or you know, people might eventually realise this is plus, because a lot of people are going to press into this thinking that it's still -8, and you know, people that haven't labbed. But yeah, this is a very good change. I do like this one. Next we have 4-3 and forward 3. The opponent's recovery time when blocking has been increased by 1 frame, and the advantage on block has been changed from 0 to +1. So 4-3 being this, and forward 3 being this. So the 3 part from 4-3 is basically forward 3, different. So this was 0 in Season 1, it's now +1, so improvement. We take that. I don't really use 4-3 anyway, but I do use forward 3. So this is now +1, so you can, if you was to both jab, our jabs would win, which is very, very nice. Very, very good change. I'm all for that. Next we have forward 2-1, 1 + 2. Increase the input window of the third hit by 2 frames. This makes it even... I already thought it was easier to hit confirm anyway, but this makes it even easier to hit confirm. And by the way, when you're playing in a game, you do have the count. You see where it says counter? That is available in the game, and you have that much time to see it after the forward 2-1. That if you're just fishing for this and you just look at where the counter is going to show up, if you see counter, you can just press it instead of having to guess if it's counter hit. But yeah, no matter, you have a lot, you can delay it for a lot longer. It's always natural on counter hit, no matter how long you delay it. So this is going to be a really good 12 frame counter hit confirm, especially now that it shows you if it's counter hit, because look how long you have. The counter will show up by then, so you can actually cheat confirm the counter hit by then. But yeah, that's what's changed on that, so a buff there, very happy with that. Next we have down forward 2, now grants Starburst state on counter hit. The opponent's behaviour on counter hit has changed to improve the stability of aerial combos. So in Season 1, when this counter hit, they used to like drop to the floor pretty much straight away, making forward 4 very, very hard to follow up for a lot of people. They've now made this very easier, and you get Starburst, which means you don't have to pop heat for the combos anymore to be able to do the 2-1-2 aerial combo that he got in one of the earlier patches. So you can just go straight into the having Starburst into this combo. And the forward 4 is basically impossible to drop now. You have so long. Like, I'm trying to delay it. Like, it doesn't matter how long you delay it, it's impossible to drop, which means you don't really want to use the back 2 anymore to make it a bit easier. You can if you feel comfortable with it, but you should always be going for forward 4 now. Next we have down forward 3-2. Reduce recovery time by 1 frame, changing the frame advantage on block from -2 to -1, and on hit from +4 to +5. So on block, this was already really hard to launch. You had to be so instant. It's now being made recover by 1 frame faster, which means it's even harder to launch. And in fact, I've been using it and people have been trying to launch it, and no one successfully launched it yet on me. So I've been getting free punishes of people trying to duck and launch it, which is very, very nice. So that's good. On block, it is -1 now instead of -2. Nice, not really too much of a change, but you know, we take it. It's like A quick neutral poke at -1, you know, you can do like this into this, and if they're too slow with like a 13 frame mid check, nice little wall spot there. And on hit, this is a big one actually, especially for me. On hit it's now +5 instead of +4, which means now when I try to do 2 of them, I can't get jab traded. So when I do this and they try jab check me, I can actually hit confirm down forward 3-1 and I can't be interrupted by it. So another very good buff. Down forward 3-1, change the opponent's behavior on aerial hit. So oh, that's before screwing it. So you like screw in a different way now, tailspin in a different way. That's whatever really. I haven't found any use of this yet. Maybe I will in the future, but right now I wouldn't use this move in the air anyway. So we'll see. I'm not really too fussed on that change. Back 3, neutral 3. Change the opponent's behavior on counter hit, making follow-up attacks on the ground possible. Reduce the recovery time by 2 frames, changing the frame advantage on block from -12 to -10 and +7 to +9. So in season 1, when this counter hit, it used to just knock down, and you used to get a guaranteed ground follow-up. Now it leaves you at +14, and you get a guaranteed heat engager, or anything 14 frame or faster really. Obviously you're probably going to go for 3-2 pretty much every single time for 49 damage. Huge buff. Very, very much better than actually the knockdown part. Yeah, way better. And of course on block -10, which is kind of nice, you know. It used to be -12. This would be a very good knowledge check at start for people that have very punishable 12 frames when they try 12 frame punish it, but now -10. Very, very good buff. Very happy with that. This move has become one of his better moves now for sure. Next is back 2+3, which is an input change from the unblockable. So I don't think I've got that set. I don't. It's there. So the input for unblockable used to be back 2+3. This now gives you back 2. So now you have to do back 2+3 to get this, which is a whatever change really. I don't really use this move. Some of you may, and if you do, remember it's changed input now. Next we have during Starburst, while running 1+2, modified the chip damage on block from 9 to 22 frames. So when you are in Starburst, I must say Starburst and not Heat, because I feel like this is a bug, but we'll talk about that. So when you're in Starburst, this used to do 9 damage off chip. It now does 22, which is a good chunk, so it makes it more usable while running 1+2. If you want to get the +8 as well as the 22 damage as well, which is better than his lows pretty much. So very, very good. The weird thing is, when you are in Heat, it does 20 damage of chip. So when you're in Heat, it does less damage of chip. So I'm not sure if that's intended because you can do multiple of them, or it's just a bug and it should have been 22 and they've messed it up. I'm unsure, but of course, we take the buff. We definitely take the buff. Next we have Wild Rising 1-1. Now grants Starburst state on hit. The opponent's behavior on hit has been altered to introduce a wall stun. Adjusted the opponent's behavior on block. Changed the frame advantage on block from -12 to -7. This was so weird to me. So Wild Stunning 1-1 in season 1 was mid-high +9 on hit. So very good on hit. And just did nothing. Like you just took the +9. Now it gives you it's -7, so it's safe now because it was -12, which is good. I have asked for this since the beginning of Tekken 7. I have tweeted him so many times saying, why is there a mid-high that is safe? And then obviously whilst in 1-2 came in, that is punishable, and whilst in 1-2 came in and that was safe. So I'm like, why is the mid-mid's safe but the mid-high is punishable? Could never work that out. And now they finally changed it to safe, so thank you for that. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you. And then on hit, this is crazy to me because this is the first time I've seen this, but it grants Starburst. Now I've never seen well, obviously I don't feel like it's ever happened unless I'm just having a brain fart and I can't remember. I've never seen a 1 move of Claudio grant Starburst, because you hit with while still in 1-1, then obviously it's his 2-hand that grants the Starburst, so it's always been a 2 move that gives you Starburst, but now a 1 move grants Starburst. Very strange. We'll take it. Very, very plus. When you're going into, gives you +44. You can't really use that. You're more of like the +19 when you already have it. Can't really do much. I know it looks like you can, but if they hold back, they're they do recover quite far away, so there's not much you can do. You can dash into a forward 1+2, or you can do like a running 2 or forward 4. But I'm not sure how their opponent's going to respond. But a big thing is, it now wall splats. So you get a nice little wall combo after it as well, which is, I'll take it. Kind of mad, but I'll take it for sure. It's a very, very good buff there. Next we have 3+4. Change the damage from 20 to 28. Recovery time reduced by 5 frames. Reduce the opponent's recovery time on block by 5 frames. There is no change to the frame advantage. The behavior of the opponent on a hit has been changed. Change to the opponent's behavior on an aerial hit. The behavior on landing a down opponent has been changed. So this does more damage now and reacts differently when you're hitting them. The main thing with this is this used to be a thing when you do like sidestep 4 and counter hit, you do 3+4 into crouch cancel 3 or down 3 or something like that. Now they are so far away that you only get the 3+4. But this has sort of been balanced out by increasing the damage of 3+4, which is nice. So you do get that extra bit of damage, but overall a bit of a nerf because it is less damage than using the follow-up ones. Next we have up forward 3+4 itself. The startup of the attack has been changed from 20 frame to 17 frame. The damage of the second hit has been decreased from 14 to 12. The opponent's behavior on hit has been altered to not introduce wall stun. Fix an issue where delaying the input of 3+4 causes the attack to occur faster than intended. So this used to be 20 frames, it's now 17, so it's a lot faster. And obviously, as we discussed earlier, it does have a follow-up. So yeah, a lot faster, +9 on hit. Very good. And obviously that's the follow-up, which would be used as a mind game mix-up. But yeah, made it faster. We'll take it. We'll take it. Which means that it can be used from long range as a Punisher. I'm not sure what the range is, but I feel like it's just short of 3. I think it's just short of 3 there. 2.8, yeah, 2.8 easy. So I'd say the 2.95 mark range as a Whiff Punisher. 17 frame Whiff Punisher as well, so yeah, we take that. Next we have up forward 3. The behavior of the opponent on hit has been altered to for follow-up attacks. Modify the opponent's behavior on block, changing the frame advantage from +2 to -6. Chip damage on block has been removed, so no longer does chip damage and it is no longer plus. It's -6 now, so it can't be used as a plus frame move, but actually does something on hit now where you can get a guaranteed follow-up, which is, in my opinion, probably a buff, because I didn't use this anyway. It didn't do anything on counter hit. I didn't really care about being +2 for the sake of the move on block. So now if I do it and it hits, at least I get a chunk of damage. But don't think I'll be using it really. We'll see. But it definitely becomes more usable because it does something now, which is nice. Next we have back 1. The distance between the player and the opponent has been increased. Increase recovery by 3 frames, adjusting the frame advantage on block from -5 to -8. Change the damage from 25 to 17. So big nerf for back 1, which obviously it's been complained about for years. So I can't say I'm surprised. Bit disappointed, but can't say I'm surprised. So it does 17 damage now instead of 25, which is a lot. So a lot less damage now, which obviously when you hit the back 1 at the wall means your wall combo is going to be less. On block has increased the pushback, so I think it's by 0.05. If I can remember correctly, because I can't remember the last time I labbed, I feel like you went back to neutral, which is 2, and now it's 2.05, so I think it's 0.05 more, which is minuscule, but is now -8, which means you cannot really take your go after this anymore. You are very minus. If the pushback was like here, -8, then you know we're cooking. That's absolutely fine. But you can't anymore. It's a nerf, damage nerf and frame nerf. It's not great. It's not looking good. Next we have down back 3. The startup of the attack has been changed from 24 frames to 21 frames. Change the damage from 23 to 17. The behavior of the opponent counter has been changed. A lot of controversy on this one. In my opinion, as playing at the higher level, buff. Playing at a lower level, people that don't react to it, probably a nerf. If people can't react to it, obviously it used to be a counter hit launcher. Still, it's fast now. It's very hard to react to now. 21 frames is I don't think it's reactable at 21. I think 22 is reactable. 21's borderline reactable in my opinion. Very, very hard to react to. You have to have insane reactions. Still the same on block, -15. But on counter hit, it is different. Used to counter hit launch, doesn't do that anymore. It gives you a guaranteed follow-up. whilst landing 1-1, or if you're in Starburst whilst landing 1-2. Which is nice, especially if you hit it with the back to the wall. But I think this makes this low more usable, as you'll know from if you've watched any of my videos and stuff. I always say don't use this low. 24 frames is just way too slow. And I feel like even when I'm playing on people with 3-4 bars, I can still see this move and react to it, and then it's just a free launch for me if I'm blocking it against a Claudio player. And if I ever used it by accident, everyone seems to block it. So now that it's faster, I will be using it more. I'm not even gonna lie, I will use this move more. If I get launched for it, then fair play. They just made a good read on a low, or they just got insane reactions. And if it's just quick high crush counter hit free whilst landing 1-1, I'll take that. I will take that. But obviously a lot of controversy for people that liked it as the counter hit launcher, but I prefer this version. Down at 1+2, added crouching status, expanded the hurt box, elevating situations where certain attacks would whiff, which means I think the mid crushing's changed. Like, don't really crush mids anymore. But it is a true high crush, which means it should go under all highs at the right frames. I believe it's 6 frames to high crush or something. So when you are like -4 or less, you should be able to high crush what people are doing, which makes for some good setups. Which I will talk about later on in the video, so don't worry about that. Next we have during Starburst, added exactly the same, apart from it's been changed from -2 to -9, and the pushback has gone. So it used to push back, let me just add this on, it used to push back very far, well quite far. Now you recover pretty much in front of him, and it's -9, so big nerf. Like, you can't do anything now. You literally can't sidestep, you can't press, you just have to block. So there's just a different way of using down button plus turnaround. Rather than more offensively, you have to use it as in a read way, or just if you just think you're going to catch a duck or a sidestep or something, just catching movement, then you can use it like that. But definitely changed from how you'd use it in Season 1, that's for sure. Next we have, while standing free, increases the recovery time by 4 frames, adjusting the frame advantage on block from -8 to -12 frames. I don't know why. This move is terrible. It doesn't even do anything. It's -12 now instead of -8, so it got nerfed. I don't know. If there's a Claudio player out there that's not in combos but uses move in the neutral and made it work and won so much with it, please let me know who you are, because you just got this move nerfed and you must be the best Claudio that I've never actually seen. So yeah, let me know about who you are, how you've managed to get this nerfed. But yeah, it's nerfed. Down 1+2, the hitbox has been expanded upwards. All of it in instances where the attack would miss in certain situations. So the shoulder would miss in certain scenarios, I imagine. Can't think of them off the top of my head, but apparently shouldn't do that anymore. Back 4-3-2, the behaviour when hitting an opponent during a wars block was inconsistent, so the third hit's start-up time has been delayed by 1 frame. Improving the stability, there is no change to the frame advantage. So what this means is, I know it's confused a lot of people, back 4-3-2 still will whiff off axis. That hasn't changed. What has changed is you should now always, when you do the wall combo, you should always get the clean hit of the last hit, rather than the little non-clean hit where it like flipped him or like made him stay in a certain position where you didn't get max damage. So when you do the wall combo, it's delayed, where you should always get the max damage of the last hit now. That's what that means. And then we have the last move, which is standing free. The downward hitbox size of the first attack has been reduced, making it less likely to connect when the opponent's in a down state. Which means when the opponent is on the floor... Oh, no, not set. This does not hit grounded anymore, which nerfs the back 2, because it used to get a guaranteed follow-up free. Obviously, you can't do the 3+4 anyway, and you can't just check people that are on the floor with standing free. And you can't do the pickup of the forward 3+4 combo anymore when you're in Starburst. I need to remember that. Yeah, you can't do that, so it doesn't hit ground anymore. What a nerf. Pretty poor, to be honest. But yeah, those are the changes from Season 1 to Season 2. Okay, so let's look at Claudio's punishment. So, punishment, for those of you who don't know what that means, is when a move from the opponent becomes -10 or more, so -9, -8, -7, -6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0 is all safe. That means if the opponent does something and that's the frames of the move that you cannot hit them, they have chance to block. When a move becomes minus 10, 11, 12, and so on, that means you have a move that you can use and hit them, and they cannot block it. They have to eat that move for doing something that punishable. So punishment starts at 10 frames and obviously works its way up. With Claudio, you are looking at 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. He doesn't have an 11, and you don't really need anything past 17. You wouldn't use anything like that, as the reward's not great for moves further than that. So first up is his 10 frame. Now Claudio's 10 frame is his 1-2, which is 17 damage and plus 8 on hit. Very standard jab punishment most characters have. I think Claudio has one of the weaker ones though, in terms of some characters have knockdown, some have more damage, but he has good frame advantage being plus 8, and it is minus 3 on block, so which means it's completely safe. So you can block after this, so no need to worry about using this move in the neutral. It's absolutely fine. In fact, it's that safe that you can sidestep after it and do other sort of things. But yeah, very, very safe. Next we have 12 frames. Now Claudio has multiple 12 frame punishes. The most common one would be forward 2-2. Now forward 2-2 is the one that grants Starburst, which is Claudio's power up and install as it's named. This gives him access to more moves, but this move should only be used as a punisher, because the higher up the ranks you get, if you start using this move in the neutral, it is minus 26, which means it's very, very punishable, and quite a lot of the cast can actually launch it or get a hell of a lot of damage from it. So it should only be used as a 12 frame punisher. He also has 2-1. Now 2-1 has a follow up, but is not natural, so you only use the first parts. This is plus 5 on hit, so good frame advantage you can use to create pressure. It's also minus 6 on block, so completely safe. One of the safer options of his 12 frame. In fact, it is actually the safest option for his 12 frame punisher. So this is a good option when you want to keep pressure, or you are unsure if you're going to get the perfect 12 frame punisher, or you're unsure if it is minus 12. You'd throw this out, because if you're wrong, oh well, you're safe, and if you're a little bit late, you're still safe. So that is the option for there. Next we have 4-3, plus 15 on hit, mainly used at the wall to punish because it does wall splat. The thing about this one is it is the second it is a high, so if the opponent's ready for it, it is plus 1 if they don't duck it and they mess up, but it is a high, so there is that risk there if you're using it in neutral, so definitely should be used more as a punisher. Mainly with their backs to the wall, and not in Starburst, as you'll see for the next one. If you don't have Starburst and their backs to the wall and do something minus 12, I definitely recommend doing 4-3 and getting that wall splat. And finally, when having Starburst active, Starburst or Heat active, he has 4-2, which is his most damaging 12 frame punish. Very, very big damage. It is unsafe on block. It is minus 17, and there is ways around punish it. You can also sidestep it left the second hit, but that won't really happen, so I won't worry about that too much. But people will figure out ways to punish this. But it is a very, very good 12 frame. One of the most damaging I've seen in the game. Maybe the most, I'm not 100% sure, but it does do a lot of damage. Next we have his 13 frame. His 13 frame is his shoulder. Now, I would not recommend using this other than punishing stuff that leaves people in crouch. Or for instance, like the bears, when the bears do back one power crush into the hunting bear stance. That's a mix-up sort of punish, but the down 1+2 always punishes. So if you ever see something where it leaves them in crouch, because all of the 12 frames are highs at the start, so you can't really use that, but this is a mid. So that is the only reason I'd ever use this, is when someone's in crouch at minus 13. If anything else is minus 13, stick with your 12 frames. That's definitely what you should be doing. 14 frames, he has 3, but right now I'd only use 2 of them. The best one being 3-2. This is a heat engager, so you're going to heat mode when using this. The second it is a high, so be very aware if you're using it on block and like messing it up. The second it is a high, can be ducked and launched. But this is his 14 frame if you get it right on the minus 14 moves. Next is down forward 3-1. This is also 14 frames. Best used at the wall. Now 3-2 would wall splat at the wall, but if you don't want to go into heat and you want to save it, this one does wall splat as well. And is minus 12, which isn't too punishable, but isn't too punishable. And then you have back 2, where you used to be able to dash into standing 3 in Season 1, which would be a very high damage in 14 frames. But now that standing 3 doesn't hit grounded, you can't do that anymore. So I wouldn't really use back 2 too much as a punish. I'd more use it in like the neutral side of Claudio's game. 15 frame, he has 2. First one being his infamous hop kick that a lot of people know Claudio for, is this hop kick and crushing people's moves, etc. You know, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, this is his launcher. As things become launch punishable for Claudio at 15 frames. I know some characters are 14 frame launchers, but Claudio's is 15. So when something becomes minus 15, Claudio can launch with up forward 4. This is also minus 13 on block, so a little bit punishable. Exactly, if you're playing a mirror match, you probably get punished by Claudio's forward 2-2 or 4-2, depending if you have Starburst. But yeah, this is what you should be using at 15 frames. Or if you feel a little bit more confident in the character, he does have down forward 1-2, which is his twin pistons, which does lead to a more damaging combo. The only thing is, if you mess it up, this is minus 15 itself, which means if you mess this up and it gets blocked, you will be getting launched by the opponent. So a little bit of risk reward, more damage but more risky. So it's up to you which one you go for. Obviously, I recommend if you can get the confidence down to use down forward 1-2, definitely do it, because it's definitely more damage. But if not, up forward 4's fine. Either is absolutely fine. His 16 frame only comes in Starburst, so if you have Starburst and something is minus 16 or more, you do have a launcher in forward 1+2, 1+2. And the good thing about this launcher is it is absolutely safe at minus 9. So if you do mess up the timing on this punish, you are safe and you cannot get hit by a mid, which is nice. It's nice to have that safe launcher. And yeah, that's his 16 frame. And 17 frame, again, also only while in Starburst, is down at 1+2. He has 3, but this is the main one you're going to use, especially at close range. Down at 1+2. Very, very good. Bit of a nerf in Season 2, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, 17 frame launcher, and of course, if blocked, still safe, minus 9. Then he has forward 3+4 at 17 frames. It can be 18 frames, but it's not often 18 frames, so you're mainly going to get it at 17. This has a follow-up with down back 1+2, or if you're in a Starburst, you can use 3-2. Oh no, you can't use. Sorry, you could use 3-2 when you was in Starburst. You can't use that anymore. That has been removed. So now you have to use down back 1+2. That's what I meant to say. You can't use 3-2 anymore. This used to be a thing. Now it's been removed. So every time you do forward 3+4, down back 1+2s, you go to follow-up. And then finally, he has back 4-2. This is a good long-range punisher. Mainly used as a whiff punisher, but can be used as a a very far pushing back sort of. It's hard. You're mainly going to use it with stuff that's pushed far back for the heat engager. He does actually have a new punishment that I actually do want to talk about, but you're not really going to use this one up close. But yeah, back 4-2 is the heat engager for the 17 frame. Very good. Only minus 11, so relatively safe. So it's actually not even that bad if you just want to throw this out and check, but it is a good 17 frame. And now it does have a new one in up forward 3+4-2, but now this one has very, very good range, and I'd actually probably use this one because it does more damage. Obviously, you don't get heat engage, but you do get Starburst. And this does have very good range for a 17 frame punish. So there is stuff you can punish with this, like Paul's Demo Man, probably Jack's down 1+2. There is going to be moves where stuff is minus 17 that you do want to use this for the range. But yeah, that is all Claudio's standing punishment. Now for while standing or crouching punishment, so when you're in crouch and you block a low or something puts you into crouch, that's punishable. For 10 frames, he has down back 1. Just a little down jab. Doesn't really do any damage. 5 damage, but is a punish and does leave you +6. And now a little tip as well, if you don't want to use any of Claudio's while standing moves follow-up, if you do down back 1 and then press forward, you recover in standing. So you can take that plus advantage into a standing move, which is very, very nice to be able to do. 11 frames, he has while standing 4. This is +5, does 18 damage, just a standard while standing 4, like most of the cast. -6 on block, like most of the cast. Very, very bog standard while standing 4. 12 frames, he has 2. He has while standing 1-1, which is now grants Starburst. This is new to Season 2. Grants Starburst and has like a wall stun, and it also wall splats for a combo, which is very, very good. It is a high. The second it is a high, it is safe now, -7. Used to be -12, but now safe at -7. But obviously the risk of it is if you mess it up, it is a high. He has while standing 1-2 as the other variant of it. Less damage, doesn't grant Starburst, the standard version of it anyway. It's probably the safer option. This can be parried, power crushed, jab interrupted, and sidestep left, so there is a lot of counterplay to this move. But again, most people standing block anyway, so it's safe. But when you have Starburst active, this does a lot more damage, and at the wall is a wall splat, and on block becomes +6 instead of -9. So very big difference whether that move is in Starburst and without Starburst. But yeah, those are Claudio's 12 frame punishes from while standing. Very, very good 12 frames, I'm not going to lie. 13 frames he doesn't have. He goes straight to 14 frames, which would be the full crouch down forward 2, 1+2. So you'd have to move your finger over to the down forward section and then full crouch down forward 2, 1+2. Very good for damage if you don't have Starburst. It does because obviously the while standing 1-2 does 35 and this does 34. But if you don't want to use that Starburst, you can go for this, and it does more than the while standing 1-1. The thing is, at the wall, it's not very great as you recover into Starburst, and you can't really do a good wall combo with the recovery of this one. So definitely better to use in the open on -14 moves. And for 15 frames, he has while standing 2. So when stuff leaves you in crouch or a low, you can launch from 15 frames, same as standing 15 frames. And you'd go for while standing 2. This gives Starburst as well on hit, and you do a different type of combo. You can do up forward 4 from crouch. So if you're in crouch, just press up forward 4. It's still 15 frames. So either of them two are your 15 frame punishes from crouch. And yeah, that's it for Claudio's punishment. Okay, now we're going to get into Claudio's combos. So for the combos, I've used a lot of combos for each individual launcher. Now, one thing I must 100%, I have to let people know this. Like, it is so annoying when I see so many Claudios not do this. Please don't stick to the combos that you 100% know when you are near a wall. You need to adjust your combos to the wall, because you're going to miss out on so much damage if you just try to do your bog standard combo that you would do in the open near the wall. It's just going to mess up, and you're just going to miss out on a lot of damage. So always adjust your combo to the wall. Try save the tailspin if possible till you get to the wall, because it just does so much more damage. So like if I'm this close to the wall, if I try to do like the standard, Claudio combo, and I do that instead of like just trying to adjust with, I don't know, something like this, and then doing this from 55 to 80 damage because I've adjusted to the wall. It is so important to adjust to the wall. I can't stress it enough. So please, you're going to see some combos that I really want you to take, but I just want you to be aware of where you are on the stage. To what combos you should be doing, but all these combos are totally viable. Some are easy, some are hard. I go for every launcher, every mini combo. I do the wall combos. It's all in there for you. I even change wall carry options. I change to all different kinds of wall combos just to showcase all of them. Now, obviously, some are better than others. Some wall carries are better than others, but it's just to show you the variety of combos you can do. So I know people have been like, oh, why didn't you do this carry or this wall combo? It does more damage. It's just to showcase how many combos you can actually do in this game. So it's obviously all completely up to you. Which enders you choose, which wall carry options you choose, completely up to you. But yeah, here are the combos. Okay, so now we're going to look at Claudio's top 5 best and top 5 worst moves in the game. We'll start with the top 5 best. This is in no particular order. I just think that these are the 5 moves that you really need to be using in this game. They are essential, really, essential to Claudio's game plan. I'm not going to lie. One of them is actually probably a new entrance to. I definitely wouldn't have included this move in the first guide that I did back in the beginning of Season 1, but it is up forward 2. Now, as we spoke about in the Season 1 to Season 2 changes, this move changed a lot. Was -8, and heat engager, still a heat engager, now +4, and of course can hold down to recover in crouching or staying standing. This move does chip damage, adds pressure. You know, if you go for the a low, you go for while standing 1-1, you go for while standing 1-2. If you stay standing, you go for down forward 3, you go for back 3, you go for jabs, you try confirm forward 2-1. There's just a lot you can do after this, and it's basically forward 4, but better. It's 1 frame faster. The only difference is this can be floated, so I get that, but being floated and actually having a heat engager and being able to use your while standing moves, I think that's absolutely fine. So this move is extremely good. Let's say you hit a heat engager, you can go for this. If it hits them, then fantastic. No, if it hits them near the wall after you've done, let's say you've done a heat engager, it hits them, it wall splats. Great. If they block it, you're still +4. So a lot of pressure can come out of using this move. It's just great on hit. It's great on block. If people like try, I think it's right, sidestep right. If you're going to crouch, while standing 1-1 hits, and I think same with down forward 3-1 if they try step right, and of course people would try step left after it, and that's when like this can whiff, this can whiff, and then that's when stuff like 2-1, down back 4-3, and then like your back ones and your forward threes come to stop people stepping. It's a complete mind game, and because of people eventually know it's plus, if you're in heat, you can just go for the heat smash, and you can actually recover and crouch, so you look like you're going to do a while standing move and still do the heat smash. So up forward 2 is definitely a move you need to be using in this season. It is actually very good, a lot better than what it was before, and probably just a better version of forward 4, really. Obviously still use forward 4 because you're not going to get floated and stuff for it, but seeing as how you can step both ways now, forward 4 becomes a little bit more nerfed. Obviously because it leaves the opponent in crouch, but it doesn't really matter these days, they can step both ways, so definitely use that. Next is going to be Wild Rain 2, especially if you can do Wild Rain 2 from this distance. Now there is not much of a timing thing for this, so as long as you press forward 3 times, you are going to get the move, as long as you don't do it. Now a lot of times you're going to get this by accident, so it happens to the best of us, don't you worry about that. Every single Claudio player does that, but having good chip damage, +6, heat engager, very good at pushing people to the wall, which is where Claudio excels. It's just an overall very good move, and of course it does track people that sidestep right. Or like, not like that, sorry. There we go. I was so confused then. I was like, maybe it's because it's the bot, but yeah, if people step right, it does track them. That really confused me. But if they step left, it totally whiffs every single time, but it can catch people stepping right, and sometimes it looks awkward, like it looks like they've gone full 180 and it'll still hit them, but for some reason the bot managed to do that. But if you're playing in the game, don't worry, that won't happen. People don't very rarely step that right. That was confusing me. I thought, have I missed a change there? But no, it does still track side step right. So yeah, one of Claudio's best pressure tools is the Wild Rain 2. Definitely helps if you can get the instant Wild Rain 2 down from like this range, because if you're doing it from here, most people are going to duck and you're going to get launched for it because it becomes very seeable, and because it's such a standout move for Claudio, people are looking out for it. So doing it from really far back is not great. So definitely try practice doing it from this range. It's less likely to be ducked because of Claudio's massive mids that he has. Next move is back 3/back 3/3. So back 3 is Claudio's 13 frame mid poke. -4. Which obviously for a mid poke is not fantastic. A lot of them are -3 or less, some of them even neutral, I believe. So Claudio's is on the more minus scale, but that is because he has a follow-up, which, as we talked about Season 1 to Season 2 changes, is now -10, which is kind of crazy, and doesn't just give knockdown for the guaranteed follow-up, it actually gives you a heat engager, and sometimes we're looking to +15, which is a launcher. So back 3 itself is good to keep people checked. Can't be punch parried like a lot of people when they have like a down forward 1. So this can't be parried by most of the casts. Obviously characters like Leroy who parry everything, they can parry it, but like the characters that are using Sabakis and punch parries can't parry this. So it's a very, very good mid check to have, and it's scary. It's technically plus, mental plus, just because of the follow-up. And if people press into the follow-up, then they get from this range. Okay, how long do I have to delay this for it to work? Okay, maybe I just have to literally make it whiff. Put him on standing. So I did it from back here. Becomes +14, and you're going to get a heat engager. So imagine you're using it here, and they press into it, and you get the heat engager for the wall spot. And you do a nice little 90 damage combo in that situation. For the sake of -10, you definitely should be using this back 3, back 3, back 3, and then every now and again, you know, just let it rip. Throw back 3 out. Now, as I was speaking earlier, when Claudio is at like a range, so if you're whiffing like back 3, like there, it is +15. From I think it's 3.1 or more, it becomes +15, and then you can actually do a launcher. Very specific. You would have to be obviously at a distance from the opponent, and then just throwing this out and hoping they walk into it, and then you get the 15 where you can choose hop kick or down forward 1-2. Don't recommend fishing for it all the time, but it's obviously a nice option to have there if you do actually. Obviously, when you're in a game, you're actually not going to know if it's plus 15 because it doesn't. You don't have the frames there, so you're just guessing that you've hit it from that range. But there is that possibility, which is nice. And at the wall, if you don't want to use a heat engager, you can go for like 4-3, for instance, for the wall splat, and do a wall combo, which does less damage, but you know it saves you heat. So you can do that. So yeah, back 3-3, back 3, back 3-3, very, very good. Definitely should be using it. Next is down forward 3. Down forward 3 is such a mind game on so many people. It is -7 on block. So yeah, -7 on block. So it is not your go, but it is so hit confirmable. And it has 2 follow-ups, which is down forward 3-2, which is -1. So you can step after this. You can even jab after this, depending on what they're doing. Down jab. If they think they're going to jab, you can do down at 1+2, it'll go through it. If you think they're going to jab at the wall, you can do shoulder, it'll wall spot, and there's a lot you can do after down forward 3-2. But this is not even the best part, it's the down forward 3-1, because obviously you'll be fishing at the wall with this, and eventually you'll see that it hits, and then you have so long to confirm this. It's always a natural combo, and because Claudio excels at the wall, you should be checking people with this, you'll see it being blocked. And then when it hits, you just let that rip. You get the wall splat. You get the massive combo damage. 81 damage. I know it's on counter. I had to turn that off, but you know you get the massive damage, and it's just extremely good. It's all a mind game. Now, of course, this move doesn't down forward 3 on its own doesn't become as good. If people just mash after it or they just stand completely still. It's all a mind game, so you're having to adjust to what your opponent's doing. If you're just doing down forward 3 and you see they're blocking, you need to sidestep after it, because that's when a sidestep 4, which is sidestep low, comes into it, and then they might start ducking. And then if they start mashing, obviously you are -7 going into 14 frames. If I'm playing against a Claudio and I see a down forward 3 and I know they're not going to finish it and try to do another one, I'd just down forward 2 and counter hit them. So there is that risk of being counter hit, trying to fish for it. But a little visual to be able to confirm the down forward 3-1 is, if you can see as I'm doing down forward 3, it's just a normal mid spark, normal yellow spark. Claudio stays completely standing, so you know that he's being blocked. If you're going for the down forward 3 hit confirm, don't ever look at your character, always look at your opponent's character, because on hit, Claudio, there is actually blood that comes out of Claudio, and he keels over and grabs his stomach. So this is the visual that you need. So as soon as you see the blood and the bending over from Claudio, that's when you know you can throw out the one. So that is the visual you are looking for when trying to hit confirm, is the blood and the bending over. Because if he does stay stood up, obviously you don't see any of the blood and he stays completely standing. So that's the visual for that. And finally, his last best move for the top 5 is sidestep 4. We'll take counter off for this. Sidestep 4 is +6 on hit, becomes a complete mind game because it comes from a sidestep, and you can go back to completely standing after a sidestep and delay it for that long, and it still comes out as sidestep 4. +6 on hit, which means you've got a lot of advantage to be able to do stuff from it. Very, 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 very good advantage, and on block is -12, so it's only just minus. So you can't even be launched for this by characters that have the 13 frame while standing launchers. So you are taking minimal damage from pretty much the whole cast for using this low. On counter hit, it does give a guaranteed follow up. 3+4 being the most damaging one. With 46 damage there. You can use down back 3 for 37, or down at 1+2 for 40, or down at 1+2 for 44 when you have Starburst active. Obviously, 3+4 is the best follow-up to use, so I definitely use that when you catch it on counter hit. But yeah, this is definitely his power low. This is his best low that he should be going to. Very, very good low. Best used at the wall, of course, to create that mind game, which we'll get into when is how best played. In the open, it can be backdashed, so if they are backdashing and you try to do this from a distance, it can whiff. That is the only risk of the move. It can whiff in the open like that, so you need to be very, very careful on how far away you are when using it. Special mentions. I feel like I have to mention these two moves because They did get nerfed, but they are still very vital to his game plan. The first being back one. Now back one, obviously we talked about, got changed from -5 to -8, and got an 8 damage reduction from 25 to 17 damage, which is a lot. But this, it does have good pushback. You know, you are far away from the opponent. It can go under highs, like jabs and stuff from certain ranges. It is a mid-wall splat. It does wall splat, catching people stepping at the wall. It does wall splat. So you can't not use this move. The only difference is from Season 1 to Season 2 with this move is it's going to do less damage as in your combos for your wall splats and stuff, which is, you know, we just have to accept that. The only difference is, because it's not -5 anymore, you cannot just do jabs, power crushes, shoulders, you know, that sort of stuff. You just can't do that anymore because it's too minus and you're going to get yourself counter hit for it. So the only thing I suggest is that if you are going for this, just block after it. I know it's, you're like, oh, I don't want to block in this game too much. You just have to if you're using this move now. If it hits and you know, you feel great, I've hit him, I've got him stepping. You kind of know when people are going to step. You'll sort of pick that feeling up of when to hit it, but you just can't mash after it anymore. Well, actually, that's a lie. You can mash after it depending on what your opponent's going to do. But if your opponent's smart, they just do something like down forward 3 or something like that. You know, something. If I'm playing in a mirror match, of course, that is something to stop you from being able to do pressure after it anymore. But yeah, I definitely think it's still notable as one of his better moves, and you still definitely should be using it. And the next is down back 1+2. Now, obviously, Season 1, down back 1+2 was just goated. It was -2, and it was mid-crushing and everything. Now, down back 1+2 is still very, very good. It's just used differently. So Season 1, with it being -2, you'd use it as a pressure tool because you could still press after it, you could still step after it. It had great pushback. So you just use it as a really offensive tool. If it hits, great, I get a launcher. If it don't, oh well, I'm still probably going to keep my go after it because it's only -2. Now it's changed. It's used a little bit differently because it's -9 and it has no pushback really anymore. You cannot just keep going from it. You cannot do that anymore. But they added a crouching status, which means it does high crush now. Like, it legit high crushes consistently. So every time you are -4 or left, so back 3, 1-2, down forward 3-2, anything like this, forward 4. If the opponent jabs, this, if I can set it, should go under their jabs pretty much all the time. I ain't had it fail yet, so hopefully the practice bot doesn't fail me now. So if I do this, oh, that's 2 hits in it. Hold on, let me do a single hit again. Back 3, down at 1+2. Change it to 2 hits. It is a legit high crush now. So the best way to use this move is, like, them situations wouldn't always work because it wasn't actually meant to be a legit high crush. They will always work now. It should always go under people's jabs. So the best way to use down at 1+2 now is to leave yourself only just going minus and expecting the opponent to jab. You can't obviously always just throw it out as like, oh, maybe I'll catch him moving, maybe I'll catch him ducking, which is absolutely fine. But don't expect to throw it out and keep your go after it, is what I'm saying. I think the best way to use it now is to let you set yourself up for people like jab check. So if you're playing against someone and you notice they're jabbing after it a lot, instead of just trying to duck and risk the while standing 2, you might as well just throw this out because it's going to crush the jab. So that is the best way to use this move, I think, now. And yeah, those are the best moves for Claudio, I would say. Next, we'll talk about his worst moves. These are moves that, some of them, honestly, I'd 100% avoid. Yeah, definitely 100% avoid. And then some of them you can use, it just very depends on how to use them. So, first move we will talk about is probably the most useless move he has, and that is the while standing 3. So, while standing 3 is now -12, as we talked about the Season 1, Season 2 changes. No idea why, no one uses this move. You just wouldn't use this move. It's 16 frames, and literally it just knocks down. And obviously you can use it as a wall splat, but why would you when you've got a 12 frame like this and a 12 frame like this? You're just not going to use this move. So honestly, while standing 3, just don't use it. Like, I can't think of any reason why you'd ever use this move. Just just delete it from the move list. Delete it out of your mind. This move does not exist. Like, just don't use it. There's nothing more I can really say on this move. It is completely pointless. If you're going to do any while standing move, you do while standing 1-1, while standing 1-2, full crouch down forward 2, 1+2, or while standing 2. While standing 3 is the slowest of them all, only knocks down, and is not the best of wall splats in terms of damage wise, so wouldn't really go for that one. Next we have down 3. This is probably his worst law. This law, it does 10 damage, is -6 on hit, so heavily not your go on hit, and is -17 on block. Pretty poor, to be honest. Don't know why it's -6 on hit. Should be like 0. If it was 0, probably usable. -17, of course, launch punishable. Is a bit awkward to launch for some people, but there is always, every character always does have a punish for it. It's just not great. I don't mind using it like as a quick high crush law. You know, it's not too bad as a little poke law. This is one of the moves that I could totally get if you use it, because it does damage, I guess, but it is launch punishable, and it is heavily minus on hit, so you do expect to give your go up if you do throw this move out. But yeah, it's just not very good. And even on if we put counter hit on, it's just 2 more damage, and it's still -6. Doesn't have any other counter hit properties. It's just yikes. It's not very good. Honestly, don't really use it. Next we have, now this move is one of his worst moves, I'd say, but it is one of the moves you need to use in a certain scenario, and that is 3+4. 3+4 is 24 to 26 frames. Using this in the neutral is absolutely pointless. I know it does 28 damage, leaves you at -11 on block, which means they can use a while standing 4. It's just pointless. Like, I get it if you hit a counter hit, sidestep 4, you do the follow up. 3+4 is a follow up. Yeah, it's his most damaging one. Definitely use it as that. 3+4 as a move in the neutral, don't use it. It's just pointless, honestly. Don't think you get much out of it. There's just definitely better options out there, and definitely one of his worst moves to use. There's just no reward really. I know it's 28 damage, but you've got more moves that are just better and faster that do more than that, so don't use it. Next is forward 2-2. Never use this move. I know you accidentally, as we talked about with the Wild Ring 2, you are accidentally going to get this move when you're trying to go for the Wild Ring 2, instant Wild Ring 2. That happens. I do it. All the best Claudios in the world do it. It happens if you mess up the Ring 2. As a move, it is completely pointless. It is a high, so can be ducked and launch. On hit, doesn't knock down, doesn't grant Starburst. Is +6, I guess. But for the risk of +6 for a high, not great. Obviously, he has the forward 2, 1+2, which is the mid version, which I totally get using, because people might want to duck this, but that just makes this whatever. Like, you just want, if it granted Starburst or knocked down, like wall splatted, I get it, you know, because obviously it'd be mixing up with this. If people do like to duck, this would make this a bit more scary, but it just does nothing. And honestly, it's just a pointless move. It used to be very good in Tekken 7, sorry. It actually used to jail at one point where you couldn't duck the high, which made it really good. But it did used to grant Starburst. And it doesn't do that anymore. So don't use it. Honestly, don't use it. It's just not great. And then finally we have back 3+4, which is a very, very slow, evasive move. Can come clutch. I'm not going to lie. This is one of those moves where it can come clutch round ender if they're, you know, you're minus and they're trying to hit you and you do a back 3+4. It avoids their move and kills them. Great. One thing you have to be very wary about though is it doesn't always hit. It is very slow, and if they do something that recovers quick, it is -15. It's launch punishable, and then it doesn't even always wall spot. Like there's certain ranges like that you get that wall spot. If it wall spotted like that from there, it'd be all right, but it just doesn't. It just hits the wall. It only wall spots like when you're directly on the wall. So it's just not a very, very good. Very, very good move at all. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't really use this. I think it's definitely one of his worst moves. In Tekken 7, it used to wall bounce, and it used to be only -14, so then it was a good move. But that is launch punishable. You don't really often get a wall splat, and you don't really get anything from it. I wouldn't really use it. I'd probably avoid it unless you need that clutch moment where you're both on no health and you just do the backswing and it works out. That's when I'd use it. But yeah, those are Claudio's top 5 best and worst moves. Okay, now we're going to talk about how Claudio is best played. Obviously, a lot of you will want to know the best way to play Claudio. You know, some people struggle in neutral and stuff, and they tell me, oh, I can't win in this scenario and stuff. Why does it feel so difficult? So let me just break it down for you. So in terms of a neutral poking character, Claudio is one of the worst in the game. He just doesn't have the frames to play that poke game as well as other characters do. So like when he's poking with his moves on block, he is so -3 with his jabs, -4 with his mid check, -7 with his other mid check, and another mid check -4. He doesn't really have, unless it's like from the string as a quick move there, like down forward 3-2. He doesn't really have that 0 -1 gameplay. So when you are playing against other people that do have that, it is just a struggle. Like, it is just an absolute struggle. You just can't play him that way. Claudio's poke neutral game, sorry if you can hear that by the way, I think someone's going on outside. Claudio's neutral poke game is a mind game. So all of his pokes that he has, such as back 3 and down forward 3, even down forward 1 technically, but it's not. They have extensions, so it's a mind sort of poke game when you're playing Claudio. So you need to decide when you are playing Claudio, like get a feel for your opponent. If they're respecting back 3, then because of back 3-3, then back 3 is not -4. Back 3 is neutral, or maybe even plus, depending on how far they wait. So you could do this into like this or something, and it might work because they're waiting so long for this. Because he has follow-ups and delayable follow-ups. This is where these moves become a little bit more. But like if you're playing against an opponent who likes to just like press between them and is not too scared of the follow-ups, you kind of have to commit to the follow-ups then, just to put it in their head. That you will just throw it out, even though they're punishable and not crazy punishable, so it's not that risky. You need to put in their head that you will throw these out, because if you're trying to go poke for poke, you are going to lose. If you're not willing to throw the extensions out because they're unsafe, you will lose. He just doesn't have the frames for it. So this is why with Claudio, it's best to push people towards the wall with like Wildering 2, up forward 4, forward 4 into sidestep, maybe another Wildering 2. Claudio is 100% the one of maybe the best character at the wall. There is some other good candidates in there, but he is extremely good at the wall because he has the sidestep, the hit confirmable mids, mind game, the high evasive back 1, the very plus sidestep 4 into a frame trap with this new move, well not new move, new adjusted move, being +4, can go into crouch, can catch people stepping if they step whilst they're in 1-1 hits or whilst they're in 1-2 hits. You can press down forward 3 after it. There's just a lot of big wall spotting opportunities for Claudio, and his wall damage is decent. It's pretty good. So he's obviously best played at the wall. Obviously when you've got the big stages like the Yakushima stage and the Colosseum stage, a little bit different. This is where you have to like do the small pokes into movement. Claudio relies a lot on movement and whiff punishment. I think like down forward 3 into step in, back 3 into step in, rather than just committing to him, is very good in the bigger stages. So you get that whiff punish with hop kick or 3-2 or something like that. But obviously trying to do the poke for poke in a like a 2D sort of way against characters, you will lose. So do not try play Claudio in that way. Otherwise you won't really excel with the character. You'll feel stuck and you'll feel like you're going to lose quite a lot. But yeah, in the neutral, try step as much as possible with these pokes, the small pokes. And then try get them to the wall, and then you know when you've got Starburst as well at the wall, obviously outside of what I was talking about, you do have access to this move now where I talked about in the season 1 to 2 changes about slightly delaying it, and then you know maybe going for the guard break, and then you've got obviously if people don't know how to deal with it, down 1-2 which will wall splat as well, and +6 so you can go for down forward 3 after, or if you think they're gonna like heat engage for instance. Because you've got like when you're +4, you can do 10 frames, +5, 11, +6, 12, +7, 13, +8, 14, and so on. If you're around those, you can do these types of move, and they can't use any sort of power crush or rage. So it's best to do like when you're +6. Obviously, like I was just saying there, you can use a 12 frame move. And they can't use any heat engage, and obviously we've just got a buff on forward 2-1 counter hit, so that if you do this, you could easily counter hit confirm it, and they can't use any sort of 12 frame. If you do 13 frame, they can, you know, you're going to lose. Whereas you plus 6, you do 12. So if you plus 5, let's say with this, you can use jabs because we don't have an 11 frame. Yeah, and they can't use heat, which is nice. Same if you do like a heat dash, you plus 5. If you do jabs, they can't use rage art or heat. Rage art and heat and power crush, they all come out at the same frames. So they can't do any of them, and it would be the same as like when you go, if you've got Starburst and you go plus 8, you can do 14 frames and they can't do it, and you know you can do, you just got all this as well as the chip damage you just received from the Warring 1 plus 2. Because you plus 8, you can use 14 frames and they can't use any power crushes or anything like that. So that's very good to know when you've got their backs to the wall. That most people, when you do like a sidestep 4 or a run into, and you're creating that pressure with Claudio, they try to use a heat engage or a power crush or a rage out to get out of it. Having forward 2-1 as a 12 frame counter is very, very good. And obviously when you plus 8, having down forward 3-1 as a hit confirmable wall splat is extremely good. So keep that in mind. It's extremely powerful to learn. But yeah, Claudio is definitely best played at the wall with a sidestep mix up because of the sidestep 4 being such a chunky low, and on counter hit, you know, knocks down, and then he has a hit confirmable mid. He has the new Starburst move where you can go into guard break if they hesitate, you know, if they're just blocking too much. You do, I don't know, whatever combo you want to do. There's just, that is how he is best played in the neutral. Small pokes with the sidestepping, not trying to go poke for poke because you will lose. At the wall, the sidestep mix up pressure as well as remembering what frames you're at to stop people from getting out of that pressure by using stuff like heat engages and rage outs and stuff like that, which is very key to remember, so please do remember that. But yeah, that is how Claudio is best played. So guys, my overall view of the character is I don't feel like he's nerfed or buffed. I feel like the nerfs they've taken away and the buffs they've given sort of keeps him the same. I think he's at a bit of a disadvantage compared to a lot of the cast as of recording, because a lot of the cast got a lot of stupid broken stuff in the game, which Claudio didn't really get. So he like falls back a little bit in tier list because of that, because they all get that. I think he's played a little bit differently to what people are used to, because a lot of people are used to pressing after down at 1+2 or moving after it. Same with back 1. You know, you're used to doing that sort of stuff. So because you have such a muscle memory and habit of moving and doing stuff after those moves, if you try to do that now, you're getting hit, you'll start getting frustrated. You just have to adapt and change it. Like using up forward 2 a lot in your moves, you wouldn't be used to doing that. You have to build the muscle memory in doing it. Using back 3-3 probably more now that it's -10 rather than -12. Using the new move a little bit, the new wall combo, it's all going to take a little bit of adapting to. But overall, I still think he's in a decent place. I could see if Tournament Claudio's mess around with other characters rather than him, just because they're a little bit more stupid at the moment. But I still think he's in a decent place. He just needs to be played that little bit different from what you will all be used to. And of course, if this is your first time playing Claudio, this will all be just new to you, and you can just crack on with it. And I hope you do learn a lot from this guide, and it won't feel too different. It won't feel any different or anything for you lot, but people that played Season 1 Claudio and even Tekken 7 Claudio, this is all still going to be a little bit of a weird change to get used to. But overall, I think he's in a decent place. It's hard to say until I know there's going to be some patches coming in the future, which might change some of the stuff in this guide, hopefully not, so it can all stay relevant. But if it does, I will let you know in some videos or even some streams. But hopefully they change what other characters get, like I've been given, some of the broken stuff, take it down, which will sort of bring Claudio back into play a little bit to be able to compete with these characters. But for now, I think he just lacks that broken move. Like down, if he had the same down 1+2, it sort of equals out what other people have got, but obviously got that taken away. So he just doesn't compare to some of what other people have got. So overall, I think he's just lacking a little bit. But of course, every character is still viable, and you should still be able to win with him. Right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something. Whether you have been playing for a while or you've only just started, I really hope you can take something from this guide. I will timestamp absolutely everything, so that you can just skip to each part if you need to go back to places. I'll leave all the notations, which is what, like the combo notations and stuff, and what it means and stuff. If you're very new to combos, I'll leave them in the description, and I'll leave it as a pinned comment, just so you can have an understanding of what they mean if you're unsure. But yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for all the support, especially throughout Tekken 8 as well. When I started Tekken 7, well, I did content in Tekken 7. I did it for a while, but like nothing compared to how it's taken off in Tekken 8. I think when I started Tekken 8, I was on like 1,000 subs, and I'm nearly about to hit 5,000 subs, which is crazy. In a year, I'm very, very happy with that. I'm glad that I've had so much good feedback from people on the videos I've done, the how to beat characters, how a Claudio player thinks / plays, the online rank players, analysing people, top Claudios and stuff like that. This will all still happen. I'll still do all this sort of thing. Still answer questions. We'll still, when I stream, answer any questions that people ask about the character. But yeah, I really do appreciate all the support, and I really do hope that this guide has helped you in some sort of way. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take care.